Moving on now, it was a summer crash that brought a local community to a standstill.
A popular high school cheerleader killed by a drunk driver with a history of alcohol-related arrests. Why 58-year-old David Whelan was even allowed on the streets that night is the question you wanted answered.
Contact 5 investigator Katie Lagrone started digging, and what she discovered is perhaps equally disturbing. She joins us from Hobe Sound in Martin County. Katie.
Michael Kelly, this is the stretch of US 1 in Hobe Sound where David Whelan crashed this summer, and this is where his young victim is now being remembered. Jessica Smith, a rising star, just 16 years old the night her family learned the criminal justice system doesn't always guarantee justice.
On a recent Friday night in Palm Beach County,
you got into a crash here. Do you know why?
We found this driver confused, his Lexus bruised, after police say alcohol led him to cross over the median and ultimately take down a street pole.
You know how it happened?
Too much to drink.
Too much to drink, okay.
It's a scene that has become all too normal in Florida.
Is that better?
Because scenes like these have become all too common here. Last year, drunk drivers caused upwards of 50 crashes per day in the Sunshine State, killing hundreds of people. It's a problem that is dangerous, deadly, and all too often repeated.
And it's not fair, and it shouldn't be.
Dwayne and Tina Jacobetti know what repeat drunk drivers are capable of.
I just miss her so much.
But couldn't imagine their daughter would fall victim to one.
Never would have thought she'd be one of the statistics.
16-year-old Jessica Smith was a popular cheerleader at South Fork High in Martin County when she crossed paths this summer with a repeat drunk driver driving the wrong way on US 1.
And I see this accident scene with this little white truck, but I really didn't think it was her truck. So I pull over, I talk to the officer, and he's like, well, what was your daughter's name? And I told him. And he goes, come here. And then I knew it was her. I thought maybe she was just her. And he showed me her picture and this purse that her boyfriend got her for her birthday in April, and I knew it was her.
58-year-old David Whelan also died the night he crashed head-on into Jessica Smith. According to the crash report, his blood alcohol level measured nearly 4 times the legal limit. But as details about Whelan's past started to surface after the crash, the Jacobetti's grief turned to rage.
This guy should have never been on the road.
David Whelan had a history of alcohol problems, arrested more than 40 times in 20 years on various charges, many alcohol-related. The night he killed Jessica, Whelan had been convicted of 3 DUIs, and his license was suspended for the 5th time.
Other than literally putting someone in jail, there's very little that we can do to prevent them from getting back in the car.
Nelson Baez is an assistant state attorney in Palm Beach County. His office failed to prosecute Whelan 3 times last year when he was arrested again for driving under the influence, and once again for driving with a suspended license.
Why was he let out?
Well, I have nothing to say specifically about David Whelan's situation.
While the state attorney's office isn't talking about the David Whelan case,
that is a problem.
Palm Beach County Judge Barry Cohen is.
Nobody wants to hear this, that the reality is that no system is perfect, that the criminal justice system cannot provide 100% public safety.
Cohen signed a warrant for Whelan's arrest just 2 weeks before the deadly crash. Warrant cops couldn't catch up with him.
What happened there?
A lot of people have a lot of different addresses in their background. Mr. Whelan is an example of that. He had 8 different addresses that he had used in previous encounters with law enforcement.
Look at the volume of what's occurring in these courtrooms on a daily basis. It's a miracle that people get out of the courtroom at all, and anything gets done.
Today, Jessica Smith's memory remains where she died. Her parents continue to ask questions.
How could somebody get away with as much as he got away with? And why was he out on the road?
She didn't do anything wrong. That guy should have been locked up and throw away the key.
Was it a system failure?
I'm not prepared to say that the system failed this victim. I'm not prepared to say that.
Are you prepared to say that the system worked
No, not at all. No.
Jessica Smith's family plans on keeping this roadside memorial here for as long as they can. We should also mention they have hired an attorney for a possible lawsuit. No word tonight on just who they might sue. Kelly, Michael, back to you.
Katie, David Whelan was not only a repeat drunk driver, but he had his license revoked so many times, yet he continued to drive. So is this common among these repeat offenders?
Kelly, let me give you some perspective here. Mothers Against Drunk Driving actually estimates between 50 to 75% of repeat drunk drivers continue to drive. We took a look at the numbers locally and found in Palm Beach County alone, about 250 convicted drunk drivers were caught driving with a suspended license. Remember, those are just those drivers who have been caught. Live in Hope Sound, Katie LeGrone, WPTZ, New Channel 5.